Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope you're staying warm because it's cold out there, baby. Before we get started, we need to acknowledge that Simply Wooden Creations, that's Russ Clarity. He was the first one here, just so everybody knows. Yeah, everybody hit the like button and share this out because we're going to do a giveaway after a while. I've got all kinds of stuff laying around here. You know, we'll give something away. And we'll acknowledge you all we got there in the chat there, Matt. We got Russ Clarity with Simply Wooden Creations. We got Jim Bashirs. We got Luanna Pierce. We've got, let's see, who else?
Harnell Media.
Well, what's called Harmel. You know, that's the sausage company. Harnell Media. Maybe he's got a side company called Harmel. Maybe that's
Him and I Garage showed up. Are you the him or are you the I today under the Him and I Garage moniker?
Good to see you. Glad you dropped in, and we'll be doing that giveaway here shortly. So get as many people in here as you can. Let's fill up the house. Let's get everybody warmed up. Bring your odd but true facts. This is called Mind Equals Blown, and we like to do odd but true facts here. And I probably still have some up here from the winter list of odd but true facts. I tell you what, I'm ready for spring.
Yeah, let me tell you.
You didn't get the snow over there we got over here, did you?
Not hardly as much as you did. We did get some. We got about 3 inches.
Well, Lord have mercy. I'm going to get me some igloo coolers. I'm going to box up a bunch of it, and I'm going to send it over to you.
Sweet.
You can make your own snowman.
Here. Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, good to see you. Welcome. I've been trying to branch out into marketing. And I'm trying to market free snowman kits. U-Haul. I'm not having any luck. What do you reckon I'm doing wrong? You're the marketing guru here between the two of us.
I'll have to review your material. It needs to go everywhere. It needs to have a consistent message. You need to have some animated GIFs. I hear they're popular with the kids. I don't know.
Oh, there's going to be a new Heaven Heaven go out later tonight.
Oh, goody.
So be looking for that. It has to do with the snow, as a matter of fact.
Jimbo's here. Hi, Jimbo.
Hey, Jimbo. Good to see you. Welcome to the crew. And
we're doing great. Brenda's had me laughing at the pre-show. We should bottle these pre-shows up and put them on a premium platform because, oh my God, we were talking some ridiculous stuff, folks. Jeez.
Well, we can tell him that one. It started out with Matt asking me if I'd seen a meme that he put over on my group, and no, I missed it. I haven't been online a whole lot today. And
I'll share the meme on Brenda. Jeez. Having trouble finding your group. There it is.
Well, Lord have mercy.
Share screen. Okay, where is it? There it is.
Ain't coming up.
Oh, I didn't push the button yet. Sorry. All right.
There it is.
Yep.
And he asked on there if that was me. Because they calf in the back of the car. And I said, I ain't seen that yet. I said, but I'll tell you something. It could have been me. Because hauling all the animals that I've hauled, all the swap meets and stuff that I went to when I was out on the farm. And then I told him this story about I had an ambulance that I used to drive going to the swap meets. And I'd load up everything. Lord, you never seen such a mess in your life as the stuff that I used to take. I could load up most of the barn in there. I took gate panels. I had cages. I had tables. I had tents. I had 5 10-foot long tents that I took. And all the tables and stuff that went in them and all the supplies to take care of the animals and the bedding and the feed. And when I'd get all that stuff unloaded at the swap, then I'd sweep out the inside of the ambulance and I'd lay out my sleeping bags. I slept in there. Okay. Well, I was going to a swap. This was just a one-day deal. And so I'd loaded up some stuff in there. And I had a teenager that was going with me to help me set everything up, take care of things that day. And we'd loaded up. We got on the road. I think it was probably around 3 o'clock in the morning to take off. And we got out on the road, got headed out. Well, I got pretty close to my destination. I was running a little low on gasoline. I never like to let that happen. And so I saw this gas station. It was one of them big fancy ones, it has the big canopy that's up over top of the gas pumps with all the lights underneath it. And this is just before daylight of the morning. And I said, I'm going to pull in here and I'm going to gas up this ambulance before we go on up to where the swap is. And he said, okay. So I pull underneath there. I said, you just stay put. I'll be back in a minute. And I jumped out, ran around to the side where the gas nozzle went, got the caps off of it, got the nozzle out, went to gassing it up. About that time, there was a little Jaguar that pulled in over on the other side of the pump where I was pumping.
Fancy car.
Fancy car. Feller climbs out of it. And you hear him, jiggling the pump handle and jiggling the gas cap thing on his car. And he went to gassing up his car. And about that time, there's a rooster that I had in the back of the ambulance. It sees out the window those big old lights in that canopy and thinks that it's sunshine, thinks that it's morning time. And roosters, when they think the sun's coming up, they go to crowing. Well, I didn't think much about it, because I'm a farm girl and you hear roosters crow every morning. It's not a big deal. But that feller on the other side of the pump there with the Jaguar, he just kind of eases his head around the side of that pump and up a little bit, and looks over there and he says, do I hear a rooster in the back of that ambulance? And I said, you sure do. I said, I got a rooster back there. That is my breakfast alarm. I've got to get this gas pumped and I got to get back to the station because the boys back there are going to be getting hungry for breakfast and they're going to be expecting me to be there. I got to get moving here. And that fella's eyes, yay big, and he just kind of eases his head back down around the pump. And
see, I love how Brenda doesn't miss a beat with these things. She's just on it. It's something absurd.
That kid that was with me up there inside the ambulance, I thought he was going to fall out laughing. He'd never heard anything that funny in his entire life.
Oh my goodness.
I can just hear though the wheels spinning inside that guy's head, thinking, she got a rooster for an alarm inside the ambulance. What kind of a rickety operation are they running around here where they have to do such things as that? Seriously.
Oh man, too funny. Too funny. This is the type of things we talk about before the show.
You got to grab the humor where you can find it.
Oh, sure.
I could have just as easily said, yeah, I got a rooster up in there. I got some animals. We're going up to the swap meet. I could have tried to make some sense out of it, but he didn't care.
What's fun about that? Nothing.
Yeah.
Anita jumped in here while you were telling the story, and so did Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon.
Well, hello to the two of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're all here. Glad that everybody's safe. I hope everybody from Texas, Lord, have they got a mess in Texas?
I hear it's down to only 500,000 customers are now out of power. Used to be 3 million. They got it down to 500,000. Did
you hear about the power bills?
Oh, the $8,000 kilowatt hour?
Yeah.
That's got to be illegal. That can't.
Well, I think there's going to probably be some investigations into that, and somebody's probably going to get their rear end burnt, but we shall see what happens. But Lord, I hate to think what mine's going to be. I get my bill tomorrow, and the last one was bad enough. I can't imagine what this one's going to be.
Well, this room stays nice and toasty with all these lights on, that's for sure. I got the windows open and it's 27 outside, which I know many places are much colder than that. But
our high today was 23, but the wind chill factor was 10 degrees. So, that's pretty doggone cold.
no,
And
I was going to say, Luana put a true fact in here. She says people born during winter months are less irritable. Now, I'm wondering how they can prove that, because if someone's irritability level is where it is, how can you say it would have been more or less depending on when they were born? So I have a question about that fact, but it's an interesting fact for sure.
well, I hate to think, what the electric bill is going to be, because my last one was just off the charts. And they sent me a letter, they're all sending letters about usage, and they sent one talking about it being up, and they said, well, it's probably because of the cold weather. Well, duh, yeah, it's because of the cold weather. I'm trying not to freeze to death. This is just a little tiny room. And I'm going to be moving the studio, but I'm wondering, oh Lord, what's my electric bill going to be if I move to a bigger room with this? Because I keep the heat off in here unless I'm back here. And that way I'm only heating it a couple times a week for a few hours at a time. And I don't know. I mean, I've slowed down. I'm trying to really give this some thought on how I'm going to deal with this. But bigger room's going to take more heat in the wintertime.
Well, I mean, that baseboard electric is the most expensive way to heat anything.
Yep.
My previous house had baseboard electric, and I think I told you we swapped them out. We bought new ones thinking it would save on electricity. Nope. Same. They just suck up a lot of electricity. And the bad thing is once they're off, they're not hot anymore. I mean, unlike a radiator, it turns off, it'll stay hot for a while. It's just it's a tough way to heat.
Now, over at the last place I lived, I had 3 different kinds of heat. I had electric baseboard, or I had the pellet stove. Well, actually, it was a corn stove. It wouldn't take pellets. It only took corn. And then I had a propane wall heater. So if the regulators to the propane froze up, I still had the electric for the baseboard, and I had the corn stove, but you had to have electric for the corn stove too because of the blower. You couldn't run it without the blower.
Yeah, Jim says, thank God for natural gas. But if the power goes out, if the fan won't work in your furnace, yeah, the fire will light, but it won't be pushed throughout your house. Do you need electricity for that?
Yep. You got to have that blower going. But now, if as long as I could keep the propane regulators from freezing up, I had heat.
Yeah.
But we went through one big ice storm where they froze up. There was 2 of them outside that went to that heater, and they both froze up. So you had to boil water. Well, how are you going to boil water if you don't have any electric and your stove's electric? So when I called the gas company, the propane gas company, and was telling them what was going on, they said, well, you got to pour boiling water on it. I said, how do I do that without any electricity? Because my stove's electric. How am I supposed to thaw this thing out? And she said, well, I really don't know what to tell you. I think you're probably pretty well screwed. I'm like, well, it's been nice knowing you. Put that in my obituary when I'm found froze to death. Good
my
golly.
other house did have a wood burning stove. That was nice because fireplaces, 90% of the heat just goes straight up. But a wood burning stove, you get a lot of that heat. Now a lot does go up through the pipe, but it's up and over.
Yeah.
So you get it. And one time I filled that up way too full, and I was like, what did I do? I was like, oh no, anything could have happened. I could have burned my house down. I was like, that was so stupid. And to cool it off, you do the opposite of what you think you should do. You open up the doors the whole way, because it's when you close the doors, it gets white hot, but you open it up and that will actually cool it down. But of course, it'll throw a lot of heat out at first. So I was like, oh man, I was so close to having a disaster.
Yeah.
After that, I was very, one or two logs. I'm not packing it full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a roommate living with me for a while, and I told him to go get some corn for the corn stove. So in his infinite wisdom, I was a woman and I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and he went and got pellets. And when I come home, he had the hopper chug grousing full of pellets. And I said, this thing don't burn pellets. He says, it'll burn them too. It'll feed that down just the same as it does the corn. Well, yeah, it will, but the corn feeds a little bit differently than the pellets do, and they stack up. So the next thing you know, we got smoke coming out of the top of the corn stove where it has caught the pellets inside the hopper on fire.
Oh.
So here I am trying to scoop all that stuff into metal buckets and take his stuff out and dump it someplace where it's, out of the house. Let's get this hopper cleaned out as quick as we can before it burns the house down. Yeah. After that, of course, I learned my lesson not to let him do nothing. Don't touch anything.
We looked at a house with a coal burning stove.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just, my friend had a house with a coal burning stove, and the truck would pull up to the side of the house. They had a chute that went right down into the basement, and they had, coal piled up on the one walled off area of the basement, and they would shovel it into the furnace. And God forbid if the furnace ever went out. Apparently they're really hard to get started, but once they're started, they maintain. And apparently they also never break down very often. There's very few mechanical failures of a coal burning, but still, you had to put on the mask because you don't want to breathe. I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. And then you had to empty the bucket. The mm-hmm. coals needed to be empty. I'm just like, always work. I'm like, can't you just have a hot house? You got to maintain this thing.
Well, you had to clean out the corn stove too, but when you cleaned it out, the corn burnt so clean that what it did is it made what they called a clinker in the bottom of the little burn unit. It's a little square puck about like that. And you just take your fireplace tool and reach in there, pick it up, and throw it in your burn bucket. And you do that once a day. And that's all you got to do.
Not too bad at all, no.
Yeah. Clinker would be maybe that thick. And you just throw that out. That's a 50-pound bag of corn right there. Nice. That's what it would burn it down to. So I really like that corn stove, but you had to maintain it. You had to have in the spring, make sure you cleaned it out, make sure that you didn't let it get any moisture in it to rust up your parts and all that.
Mr. Doughboy's here. Hi, Mr. Doughboy.
Let's say Russell is saying, is there more daylight than night? Twice a year on March and September equinoxes, everyone worldwide supposedly receives 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. We're going to do a time change on March 14th.
Well, that'll be good.
That's coming up soon.
It'll stay daylight longer.
What is that, about 3.5 weeks?
Daylight saving time, not plural. Daylight saving time is the correct way to pronounce that. Did you know that?
Is it time for you to go back and see that doctor that did that hose test on you?
The what test?
The hose test.
What hose test?
Where they stick that hose where the sun don't shine and got a camera on the end of it looking for the splinters that he left behind before, because one of them splinters is poking you.
Sorry, I'm not going back for 3 more years. I got it scheduled for 3 years out.
I think that I need to have a chat with him because he's leaving splinters, and they show up when we least expect it.
Jeez. Oh, Luana explained the less irritable comment a couple pages up. Okay, I'll check that out.
I've been jaw-jacking and not paying a whole lot of attention to what they're saying in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anita says, I was going to say, Matt, you better be scared of that question.
I never learned my lesson with Brenda. I always walk into it.
I think they got the stick. They just missed some of the splinters is what it is, because, you're doing better than you used to do.
Yeah,
So,
from my understanding, it's not made out of wood.
well, whatever it is, they left part of it behind because it sticks you.
I hope not.
It's poking you.
Oh, dear Lord. Just because I said it's daylight saving time instead of daylight savings time. It's true.
Day-o. Day-o.
Like me wanna go. Day. I said day. I'll tell you what.
And he says, Matt, read between the lines, brother.
Jamaica was awesome. I want to go back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
That other than it being a war-torn country infested with militia, it's a fabulous place. You know what people do in Jamaica? Party. They party hard. The whole country. Because there's nothing to do. They work or they go to school. There's college. They go to school or they work. And then they party. There's nothing else besides what I've just said. It's crazy.
I really do not have any big desire to leave the United States. I've never been outside the United States. I had a car once that went outside the United States when some goober decided to steal it, but I have never been outside the United States. And
C-Dubs is here. Hi, C-Dubs.
Hey, C-Dubs, good to see you. You still helping the cartel smuggle shit across the border down there in Mexico?
Mel's here too. Hello.
Hey, Mel. How's things in the borough?
A lot of rude boy Don Dadas in Jamaica. Yeah, man. Everyone says yeah, man. Everyone says yeah, man.
Just like everybody up in Canadistan, they say, hey. Cold, eh?
Look at that. I got these in Jamaica.
Now, what do they represent?
This is King Dun, and this is the Queen. This was a king and queen of Jamaica a while back, and there's a waterfall called Dunn's River Falls, and I got these from a vendor after climbing up the waterfall. I mean, it's not straight down; it's sort of staircased.
Yeah,
up a mountain. It's cool, and you can walk up
it. This begs the question: is her name Queen Get It Started, and his name is King Dun?
Let me check Wikipedia. What? You're right.
Makes sense to me. Luana says snow can be yellow, orange, green, and purple. Well, if you got enough food coloring, you can make it any color you want to make it.
I wasn't sure what to say to that comment.
She says it's due to algae.
Okay. Gotcha.
They say that if you take, now I've got to try to remember what it is. If you take something and put it in balloons, coat the inside of the balloon with it. I think you put some kind of dish soap or something in there and some food color, and then you take them balloons out and you anchor them in the snow, and they freeze. Then you pop the balloon, but the bubble is frozen and stays there, and you can have all kinds of different colors of bubbles floating around in your yard. I don't know how true that is, but I read it on Facebook someplace.
Oh, well, you give that a try and then give your report back.
Shoot, you can't get me out of this house with a stick of dynamite. I ain't been out of here in over a week. I ain't even been out to get the mail. I made the fella that was shoveling the snow the other day bring my mail up to the door. Poor dogs, you know, they're having to go out in it, but I don't leave them out there long. I let them do their business and come right back in.
Same here. About 3 days, I just got the mail before the show. I told Tracy, I'm like, I'm going out to get the mail, thinking, like, if I'm not back in like 3 minutes, maybe come check on me. Because
that brings up an interesting question I was wanting to ask you. Now, I signed up for that thing over on the USPS website where they supposed to send you the pictures of whatever mail you get in the box, okay? But they're telling me that there ain't no mail in the box. But yet, I hear him pull up out there, and he's clanking around and banging the mailbox. He usually just drives on by if I ain't got no mail. Now, do they give you pictures of all your mail, or do they just give you pictures of what they think you need to see?
I can show you what it looks like.
Because they ain't giving me no information. I ain't going out there to find out what it is.
Oh, well, actually, I'm not going to show you what it looks like because it has my address on it. But, yeah, they...
You can show me after the show. You don't have to do it, you know.
I'll do it like this.
But do they put, like, pictures of your junk mail and everything on there? If you tell me you don't get junk mail, I'm going to come right through this camera.
Yeah, here, I'll show you. Share screen. Share screen. Press the button, hit share. There you go. See, it looks like, of course I've obscured my address, but this is the email, and they're just black and white photos of oh, look at this. Look at this. I get this in the mail. See, it's addressed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Senior living community.
I'm
only 50. Come on.
The fun has just begun for you. You're going to be getting AARPs 4 or 5 times a week for the rest of your life.
Well, I got some AARP stuff, but I'm like, a retirement village? I'm 50 years old. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You have reached the age where you're going to start getting everything. All the disability stuff. And yeah. Speaking of that, I signed up for some stuff with the Medicare, and I don't get to sign up for Medicare for another 3 months, and none of it goes into effect until fall. But I signed up for some stuff, and every time I think I've just about whipped it and, you know, got it figured out, there's another big hoopla. Because some of the stuff I thought I signed up for, I didn't get anything on. So I'm going to have to call them and ask them about that. And some of the stuff that I signed up for is telling me different figures than what they told me over the phone. So I'm going to have to get that cleared up on exactly what's going on there. And some of it doesn't even tell you what you're going to get as far as benefits, you know, what they cover. It says, if you have any questions about what this covers, you can go to website, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, why the hell didn't you tell me that to begin with? And I could have gone and checked it out. And now, you know, here I got and the packets, there's 2 of them, and they're about at least a half an inch thick, full of paperwork. I'm going to have to sit down tomorrow. That's my job for tomorrow, is to sit down and go through everything line by line, write down all my questions, get everything situated, go to the websites, look up stuff, you know, because I'm thinking, okay, I've signed up for this one thing, but I don't think it's going to cover near what I wanted it to cover. I might be better off just to go ahead and pay out of pocket and say, screw paying this insurance thing on this. But Lord have mercy, what a mess that Medicare stuff is. I feel sorry for anybody that's got to deal with that. That's the awfulest mess you ever seen in your life. Because every insurance company has a different program. Yeah. And it's not all just lumped up in one place where you can just go and look them all up.
Company insurance plans, let alone going through Medicare. I can only imagine. That's got to be.
It is a nightmare. I feel sorry for anybody. I've heard for years people say, oh, I got to get signed up for that Medicare stuff, and I don't know nothing about it, and I'm wading through all this. I'm thinking it can't be that difficult. Well, guess what? It's that and then some. It's the awfulest mess you ever seen. And talking to these insurance people, most of them have not a clue what they're talking about. They'll tell you anything over the phone.
That they're all underpaid and they don't
Yep.
care. Yeah.
They'll tell you anything over the phone. That's like Anita's saying she invited a friend.
I saw that.
Well, good.
Anna wants me to look at one of her responses. I'm not sure which one she wants me to look at. She said she gets all kinds of senior grave planning and Medicare supplement help. And she said a couple more things about the algae in the snow, and pink snow will make you sick.
So yellow snow.
Yeah.
Arlene said they could only show the items that were scanned on the other end and not junk mail. Okay, so maybe it's has to.
I tend to get a picture of everything that shows up in the box, except for like those newspaper, like the mailed newspaper type things. Those don't seem to get scanned. But if it's, regular letter size, they scan it.
I will have to go out there though by the weekend, I guess, because I'm expecting a water bill.
They will not let me do it for the P.O. box. There's something else you need to do to prove, because I think they want it for people. They don't want it for businesses. So, because I would love to get an email when something's in because I don't get mail every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just be, doing like, man, I sent you something and it's been a while. I'm like, oh, guess I got to check the P.O. box. Like I just don't get there that often. So I think I'm going to figure out what I think I need to go into the post office and fill out another form in order to get pictures of incoming mail in the P.O. box.
Yeah, Luana says, laughing out loud, just wait, funeral arrangements. Hey, I have planned funeral arrangements. I could become what do they call them? Like a wedding planner. I could become a funeral planner for people. I have done so many funerals. Everybody in my family's dead. So I could do that for a living. That is a piece of cake compared to this Medicare garbage. The Medicare thing is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So funeral arrangements. And then when it comes to my funeral arrangements, I'm going to be dead. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for me.
It's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, she says she gets all kinds of senior grave planning and Medicare supplement help. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to get tons and tons and tons. You're going to keep that trash man busy hauling that stuff away.
No, Mel says, unfortunately, this is possible, but cake at funerals, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've been to funerals where they've had like, if it's a morning funeral, they'll have some donuts and stuff set out back in the little room where there's coffee and all that, because, not everybody that shows up is a mourner. There's people coming that's just there to pay their respects. And, then generally there is some kind. Now, I'm of Southern background. All right. But generally after the funeral, you go back to somebody's house and there's food. All the neighbors have brought in a casserole. All the families brought in, something, a cake or a pie or something to eat, plate of chicken, some macaroni salad, some potato salad. There's usually a big old table of food for everybody to eat after the funeral. So I don't know, Northern traditions, whether that's a normal thing or not. But
a lot of times they'll book a room at a restaurant and they'll, have one of those and y'all come. And
yes. So I think that's a better idea than going to somebody's house, because I usually want to go to the bereaved's house. Right. And the bereaved do not have time to be trying to clean their house and get ready, for 50, 60, 150 relatives, whatever, to be piling in and out of your house all day. So I think the restaurant thing is a really good idea. But some families are bigger than others. I mean, you may, get a family that's just a dozen people or something, just small.
Lord, for weeks, says Luana.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to wash up all the dishes because all them casseroles, they'll come in some kind of a dish that they've been baked in. You got to clean all that stuff up, and there's a piece of tape on the back of it that tells who it belongs to, and you stack all that stuff up, and then you have them dropping by your house at any ungodly hour to pick up their dishes.
Arlene says, I knew an old lady that went to every funeral if she recognized the name just for the cookies and tea at the funeral home.
Yep. There's people that do that too. Church families do that also, food and reception stuff, and send just meals to mourners so they can eat.
Yeah, a lot of times there's like the reception hall at a church, or like an annex building at a church. They'll have food after funerals.
Yeah, Mel says up there they usually have devil's food cake or Entenmann's, some kind of cake.
Correct. Hey, JD Knight's here. Hello.
Good to see you, JD.
You want to get a giveaway going? We got 15 in the house.
Well, we could probably do that. Let's see here. Do you want to do the announcement?
Sure. Oh, Portal's here too. Hot Portal Woodworks.
Well, just go ahead, Precious.
Okay, here we go. Before we get started, make sure you're not behind time. Drag the playhead all the way to the right because we're going to say go, and it's time sensitive. So make sure you're not behind time. Brenda's going to write. Brenda has written a number down on a piece of paper. And if you guess the number after she says go, you only get one guess. Don't guess multiple times. If you guess the number, you win one of 4 prizes, which she'll announce after the winner's chosen. She's going to write the number down out as a word. She's not going to do numerical digits. She's going to do characters. And that word she writes is going to have several capital letters. So your second option to win a bonus prize is to guess how many capital letters she has in the word she's written out. So, for example, you would do digit, slash, and then however many capital letters. And you can only guess once after she says go.
And the reason for the slash in the second number is because that if you get the second number right, how many capitals that I have in the word, then you'll get a bonus prize if you won the prize. There will be 4 items to choose from, and I'll tell you what they are after we get a winner. The numbers are going to be between, now here's your range. So keep this in mind. The range of numbers will be between 55 and 67. Between 55 and 67. And whatever number I wrote down here on this piece of paper has some capitals in it. It could be 1. It could be all of them. Somewhere in between. You never know what I'm liable to do.
Don't guess until Brenda says go, and guess one time. And if you're outside the United States, you pay for shipping. Or if you're outside the United States and you don't want to pay for shipping, you can gift the gift to someone else in the chat who's in the lower 48 states of America. There we go. I think we got it out of our way.
Okay. Go.
All right. I put the comment in there. Guess a number between 55 and 67. Guess one time. Put a slash and then how many capitals. They're coming in. This is why it's important not to be behind time. You want to be current on the playback when you're watching live. Between 55 and 67. All right, got a couple guesses in here.
Don't have a winner yet.
You should put some background music on. Like that.
That's almost Charlie Brown music. We don't have a winner yet. Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
We'll get it going a second time, but don't guess a second time until we say go also again.
All right, let's do it a second time. Go!
All right, make your second guess. Obviously, don't Don't guess any numbers that have been chosen up to this point.
Got a winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So the number is 56.
That's Portal. And we got 1 capital, 2 capital, 3 capital. That's 3 capitals. Portal he picked 4. He missed it by 1.
Missed it
He
by
missed
1.
the bonus by 1, but he won.
Yep.
He won the prize. Congratulations, David Jones.
David Jones won. Now, let's see what we got up here to give away. I've got...
And thank you all for playing. We appreciate it.
I've got a table full of stuff. Let's see. I got this nice brand new hat band.
Okay.
This is for your cowboy hat. So you wear a cowboy hat and you want a nice hat band, I got that. I have got this Farberware mandolin for cutting up your veggies, making slaw.
I like those.
It's got the guard on it.
Moz 42. Hello.
Hey, Moz. I haven't made it to the post office yet. I'm still kind of snowed in here. I'll go probably next week. And let's see what else we got. I got, if you got one of them, I guess they call these iPads or something.
iPad case.
Yeah. And this is the case. This is the rubber one. And then it also has the hard case there. If you got one of them, I got a nice cover for it there. And what else I got over here? I've got the thing for your earbuds. Put your earbuds in. Matt can tell you what the fancy name for this thing is, I guess.
Ear pods? Is that the little Ben and Jerry's?
This is the Ben and Jerry's.
It's a charger case for your ear pods.
And it's got a little hook thing so that you can put it on your keychain. But yeah, it's the Ben and Jerry's little pod bucket.
Yeah. All right,
So,
Portal. Which prize would you like?
anything there that strikes your fancy?
Let her know in the chat.
Let me know in the chat.
The hat accessory,
Hat band, the mandolin, the iPad case, and the earbud hootenannies.
Good deal. And super chats help fund the shipping to the channel.
Yeah, all money that comes in super chat comes in through AdSense. That all goes towards shipping these giveaway packages. Yeah, I'd sent Moz out some stickers a while back. He sent me some, and then I sent him out some. They come back in the mail the other day, said I had the wrong address on it. They'd been clear to Australia and come clear back.
Holy cow.
So he gave me the address, so I put the address he gave me on there, and hopefully they'll go through this time. I'm waiting to see what David wants me to put his name on. He must be thinking.
Oh, keep it for the next giveaway, he says.
Oh,
well,
okay.
You want to pick someone in the chat portal? He can do that, can he?
Yeah, he can pick somebody to give it to if he wants to.
Yeah, if you'd like, you could do that, David. Pick someone in the chat to give it to. That's totally fine.
Luann's saying, anyone know where strikes your fancy comes from?
My guess is it's English, but I don't know. Do tell, Anita or Luana.
Nope, he says keep it. All right. Well, we'll draw again next week.
Okay. Thank you for playing, Portal. Thank
Thanks
you for
a lot.
supporting the channel.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Or a super sticker. I'm sorry.
Super sticker.
Yeah.
Is that what, a laughing pear?
Yeah, I love that little pear person.
Oh, that's like she always likes the little cowbell. There's a little cowbell for her.
That's the one Mr. Doughboy made. I like that.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, there's a little laughing pear, and pear gets into all kinds of antics on the super stickers. Those are fun.
She said she didn't know where it come from. That's why she's asking.
Oh, well, I do not know the answer. I'm sorry.
Well, look it up, Luana. Maybe that'd be an interesting fact for the show. Ask Google. He knows everything. I don't sleep anymore. Do you know that? I don't sleep because my mind just keeps going all night long. It'll keep going. And since I found out that Google talks to you, I have conversations with him all night. He's taught me all kinds of things.
I have an interesting fact about Google.
All right.
Have you been watching the world technology news?
No.
Google was this close to pulling search and news out of Australia. Could you imagine going to Australia, google.com, return error 404, file not found? Or they were going to forward it to google.com instead of google.aus. Anyway, yeah, they were angry. I want to say a bad word. Hey, your brother from another mother's here.
Good to see you, Jim. He says he's got an interesting fact. I bet he does.
He was mad at me today because I posted this microphone that I have, the Heil PR40, came out in black, and they have a contest. They're like, give us your name and your email. We're going to pick a winner. We're going to give one away. Not open to Canadians. He was not happy. Sorry, Jim. I don't run the Heil microphone company.
Say, Luana says, strike your fancy also, catch, tickle your fancy to seem interesting or pleasing to someone. She has enough money to buy anything that strikes her fancy.
Okay.
There you go.
See, Brenda, I'm breaking hearts. Arlene says her heart's broken because she thought I knew everything.
Lord,
I'm sorry
I'm going to burst that bubble.
Sweetheart. I know a lot about a lot, but I don't know everything. Oh, not me, Matt, the company. Jim clarified. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
they're great microphone. You can still buy a microphone from them. They'll ship it to you in Canada. They're just not giving one away free to Canada, apparently. I don't even know how you knew that. It just said first name, last name, email address. You could have just entered it. If you won, just say, my address is, and then point it to my P.O. box. What's my P.O. box? I got the address around here somewhere.
Speaking of that,
this could have been your address. I would have mailed it to you.
If you need stickers for either one of us, just let us know. That's his box. If you want to send him some, here's my stickers. If you want some of them, just let me know. I'll give you my address, or I'll send you some stickers. Give me your address, however you want to do it. It's free. These
I give away for free. You don't have to send me anything. I'll just give them to you. And then if you want to send me something, you can put it there.
Yeah, Moss says that Facebook has pulled his news and myriad of stuff from that platform in Australia.
Facebook did do that. Facebook did pull news. And they even pulled all government stuff, because is government new, and some of the government stuff is like critical COVID stuff. They nuked it all. Facebook isn't playing. They're like, we're not playing with what Australia's trying to do. They're trying to extort money out of the big tech companies because newspapers are dying, and apparently that's Facebook's fault. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. Just rich old Rupert Murdoch wants more billions. This is stupid. Anyway, Facebook. Facebook shut it down. They shut it down. And you know what? Australia is the size of, as far as head count, people on the internet, it's the size of California. I mean, it's a big country, but there's hardly anybody there. They're just in the upper northern peninsula. The rest of the country is all desert. It's abandoned. There's nobody.
Crocodiles ate them all.
What's that?
Crocodiles ate them all.
Yeah, the crocodiles and all the unique creatures there. They've got unique animals.
Spiders and snakes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the dingo. The dingo ate your baby.
Yeah. Stream Elements brought up about my Etsy store, so I'll mention my Etsy store. It's still going. I put some new scented soap up the other day. The lemongrass is ready to go. So if you're interested in lemongrass scented soap, I do have that. It is great for your skin. It's great if you got pimples or if you got a teenager that tends to get pimply face, acne, any of that kind of stuff. Lemongrass is great for that. So,
David's got to jump.
Not David. Thanks for coming.
What kind of soap is that?
Lemongrass.
Lemongrass soap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it smells like kind of a combination of grass and lemon. It's not a real strong lemon scent, but it's not a real strong grass scent. See, lemongrass is a grass that grows that smells like lemon, and that's where it is derived from. So there you go.
I told you I made a sale on Etsy, didn't I? I don't think I said it on this show, but
no, you told me
my first Etsy sale ever.
Yep. You sent me a thing about that the other day. Yeah.
I got this weird deposit in my bank. I'm like, $5.35. Who deposited that? I'm like, oh, someone bought one of my $6 PDF plans.
Yep.
I was like, yay. I've been paying 20 cents a month just to keep my one item in the store.
Now, you sure that's a month?
Well,
because they only charge me when I list.
Oh, there is a repeating charge every month, 20 cents.
See, I only get charged once a month, or once when I make the listing or renew the listing, and the listing is good for 3 or 4 months, whatever it is. So maybe it's because it's digital. I don't know.
I'll have to check. I just know I get dinged 20 cents, which, it seems like, is it even worth collecting 20 cents? I mean, I guess maybe it is because it's all automated. But...
Jim Dockrell says, fact, because he had ALS.
Don't read that.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't read it privately, but okay.
Well, you can read it if you want, but I'm just like,
Okay, well, that's sort of like that one story that I told about that young man that was in the radio club and did his project for the science class. He was supposed to be doing it about the cosmos, and he found a magazine in the library that was the history of black holes. And so he did his report, and he failed the report, and he got himself grounded.
Don't say it.
And his parents said, well, what's the problem? And the name of the magazine was Proctology Today.
I knew it.
He said, you can read it. It's true. Oh, Lord, thank you, Arlene. She said that I make great soap. Thank you so much. There's been a lot of work go into that soap. I worked 30 years or better to perfect my recipe.
She's keeping her formula secret.
That's right.
Will not tell anyone.
That's right. It's all up here. So nobody will even get it after I'm dead. It goes to the grave with me.
Is there a number someone could pay you to relinquish this? Seriously, there's got to be. Everyone has a number.
Nope.
$10,000.
Oh, hell no.
You wouldn't take 10 grand?
No. The starting bid would be like 50 million.
50 million?
Yeah.
Oh, Brenda.
Well, we get there, then we start negotiating. That's
if someone had $45 million, it would be a no.
Then they better be saving up.
Oh, jeez. Well, okay. I mean, there's no wrong answer, but like,
that's right.
Holy cow.
Yep. Hey, this girl's trying to win the lottery. She wants to get herself down to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and she got a house picked out down there. And she gonna need some serious jack to be able to do what she wants to do. So $10,000. That wouldn't get me off this block. Are you kidding?
Okay.
Oh, we're talking a big bucks here. I've been doing so much plumbing, I'm having a hard time keeping my pants hiked up, says Jim.
You got to show the plumber's crack. That's a requirement. I think there's a class you got to take to show the appropriate amount of crack.
That's right. Arlene says it's a pride thing. You don't give away a prize recipe or a technique. Exactly. I mean, we're talking over 30 years going in to produce that product. That's a lot of time. Day in, day out.
Is it $50 million worth of time?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Because, hey, I ain't cheap, but I can be had.
Well, for 50 million, apparently so.
Oh, yeah. Luann's thanking me for the little cowbell, remembering that she liked it. So you could be like Cruz.
Ted Cruz is who she's referring to, or he's referring to.
And it's gone to
Cancun while his constituents die from freezing and lack of water. Yeah, the senator from Texas hightailed it to Mexico with his family. People are giving him a hard time.
He's going to be in big trouble. Him and a whole lot of other ones from what I've been hearing about all that debacle that's going on down there.
Yeah.
There are going to be a bunch of them. See, now I think they, down in Texas, don't they still believe in just stringing you up?
I'm not from Texas, but that doesn't sound wrong. From what I understand, the power company is like a third-party company that's free from regulation. Like the government can't touch it for some reason. I don't quite understand it, but
well, I heard something about Enron being involved. I don't know.
They're defunct, aren't they? Didn't they go belly up?
I think they bought electric companies.
Well, Enron had the stock collapse.
Yeah.
So I thought they were done.
But then I think they came back into electric.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, I think there's going to be a big upheaval.
Speaking of stocks, have you been following what they're doing with GameStop?
No, I haven't been paying attention to that.
Well, here's a funny tidbit, whether or not you understand the financial markets, is the person who kind of started the whole movement bought 50,000 worth of GameStop when it was like $1, and he just did it for the lulz. And he was champion. He was hyping people up to buy it, so it would go up, and the hedge funds wouldn't. You know, it would get the hedge funds in trouble because they borrowed it and then they needed to buy it at a higher cost. Anyway, blah blah blah. Not illegal. If he's just a normal Joe Schmo, you can do that. You can manipulate the market if you're just like a normal person. But no, he's a licensed financial, he's got paperwork from that he's allowed to, and now, oh man, Massachusetts filed a lawsuit against him, and the FEC's coming after him because that's called insider trading.
Yeah,
and you can't do that. He's a licensed financial something or other. And he billed himself as just Joe average user, sticking it to the man, and he's not.
Yeah, I used to be licensed at one time, believe it or not.
Oh,
and
cool.
so I know a little bit about that kind of stuff. And what he did, he is so screwed.
You can't. I mean, think of this. Like if you have inside information that a company's going to go bankrupt, and you sell your stocks a week before they announce they're going bankrupt, that's called insider trade. Now that doesn't sound too illegal. Like, does that really sound like you're doing something nefarious? It is an $8 million fine and 10 years in jail. What I just said, because you can't manipulate the market like that.
That's right.
And that's not something I just pulled out of the air. That is long-standing precedent that you can't do that. And this guy, oh, he is so dumb. He's so dumb.
Yep. Jim Bashir says he should go to Cancun. Lord, I don't know if they have extradition from there or not. I mean, you better go someplace where there's no extradition. They'll be dragging him back here.
Oh.
Wow. Luana says, true fact, some cities use beet juice, beer waste, and pickle brine on icy winter roads instead of salt. That's true. But they use beet juice over here quite a bit.
That's a good use of using what you got.
Yeah.
You know, not letting things go to waste.
Natural ingredients instead of using chemicals. And
yeah. I love it.
All these 20 and 30 somethings cheering them on could screw up people's retirements, but they're stuck. They stuck it to the man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Luana says, in Finland, you can stay in glass igloos during the winter to watch the northern lights.
Isn't that cool? Huh. Finland, eh? Who'd have thunk it?
The only thing I want to see in the wintertime is spring.
I could get behind that sentiment. No problem.
I'm not interested in seeing no snow. I'm not interested in seeing no ice. I'm not interested in seeing northern lights, southern lights, street lights. I want to see spring. Show me the spring.
I'd go to the South Pole. See me some of them aliens down there. That's the rumor.
Yeah. It's cold down there.
What a better place to go if you want to be somewhere in secret. The South freaking Pole. Ain't nobody going there. And they got a no-fly zone over it, too. Like, you got to go 5 miles. You can't go right over the pole. You got to go 5 miles out. Get you in trouble.
It's warmer at the North Pole than it is the South Pole because the North Pole has water underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, the South Pole is the landmass. Yeah. And it's scary over there.
Jim says he wants to see the tulips open up. Well, he don't want to come here because I've got a whole yard full of tulips and you don't get to see them open up because the squirrels eat them.
Eats with Fifi is here. Hello.
Hey, good to see you, Fifi. What's on the menu today? You never seen anybody eat like a child in my life. She about as big around as a pencil. Yeah. And she eats like you never seen in your life.
Is tacos on the menu? Whoops.
She's done tacos.
Nom, 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 nom.
She's done some serious stuff over there on her channel. You never seen so much food. So Jim says, go to the AFB, Matt. Nobody knows you're there either.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Air Force Base.
Oh.
Thule Air Force Base.
Ay. Oh, Arlene's got to jump. We're not
okay, Arlene. It's good to see you. Stay warm. Those igloos have a curtain around the section of the ground level section of them.
Yeah, for privacy, I'm sure. But...
Well, I don't care. I don't want to see what's out there anyway.
If someone wants to look, they can look. That's my...
I've always said that if my neighbors ain't seen me naked by now, they ain't been looking. Because, there's no pride here. I just, let it hang out. I figured if they was looking, they'd be blind. And I'd know that they'd been looking.
Oh, no. Come on now.
So, there ain't nobody been looking. But once you've been in a hospital, now you've been in a hospital, you know what I'm talking about. Once you've been in a hospital, you ain't got no pride no more. Because everybody sees everything you got. There's no secrets. It's all right out there for everybody to view.
My wife's friend was given birth, and they had to move her to another room, and they had their legs up in the stirrup, just pushing her out in the hallway. She was kind of put back by the whole experience.
Yeah. No. Well, when I was in the hospital, now I was just in there overnight. They wanted to keep me longer, but I wasn't staying. I was like, no, I'm going to hell home where I can heal up. You ain't getting no rest in here. I'm going home. Well, the morning after surgery, they wake me up and they give me the breakfast and they, come in checking the bandages and all this kind of thing, and they said, okay, we're going to get you up so you can take a shower. And they had me, now I'm a good sized gal, and they had me in this like size Sub-Zero, small, extra small gown. So I'm like this in this gown. And they put this thing on me from surgery. All right. So I'm in this little teeny tiny gown. And they say, now we're going to have you get up and get a shower. The showers are right down the hall down here. And you're still hooked up to this IV. So you got to push this rod down the hallway. So here I am, all hunkered up in this little tiny gown, trying to push this IV rod down the hall, and my butt hanging out of the back of this gown while I'm going down through there. They get me to this bathroom where the shower is, and shove me in there, and they throw a clean gown down there on the counter and tell me, now get in there and get yourself cleaned up, dry off, put the clean gown on, we'll come back and get you. So I managed to get the gown off of me, and I get in the shower and I get cleaned up. I come out of the shower, I dry off. I pick up this gown. It's another one of these little teeny tiny Barbie doll nightgowns. So I open up the door in all my glory, looking up and down the hall to see if I can find a nurse, and there ain't no nurse. So I just wait, because I thought, well, she said she'd come back and get me eventually. So I wrap a towel around me there and wait. Finally, she comes back in, sticks her head in, she says, you ready to go? What? Why don't you have the gown on? I said, because it don't fit. And she says, well, it'll fit. I'll get it on you. I said, no, it's another one of these little Barbie doll deals. We're not playing this. I said, you're going to go out of here and you're going to bring me back a gown that fits. And she says, well, this is one size fits all. And I looked her dead in the eye and I said, you listen to me. I am in this multi-million-dollar fancy facility that you have, and you're going to tell me that you have one size fits all gowns? Now, I'm going to tell you something. You don't know who you've run up against, because I will go out of here in my birthday suit as naked as the day I was born, up and down this hall, and I'll stick my head in every room that's here. I know there's some other fat people here, and I know they've got gowns that fit, and you're, by God, going to get me one of them gowns so that I can get that thing on and get back to the bed. Or we're going to have a go-round right here today. Out of there she went. She gone about 5 minutes, and she by God, brought her butt back there with a gown that fit.
Oh, there you go. Cracking the whip.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. I mean, sometimes you just got to get your point across to people. But then, I was able to at least be comfortable, and stretch my shoulders out and breathe again. I'd been cooped up there since noon the day before in that little Barbie doll nightgown that they put on me.
Anna Castro's here. Hi. We're not
Good to see you, Anna.
We're not going to be on much longer, but we're glad you're here.
Oh, she said, you really need two gowns. No, I didn't need two. I just need one to fit.
And she says, well, I hate those gowns too. That's what she said.
Yeah. No, Jim was saying I really need two gowns.
I see that. It's popped up later. Okay.
I'm like, no, I just needed one that fit. That's all I needed. I think, though, tonight what I need is some of that Gorilla Glue for my hair. Because my hair's got a mind of its own. It's just sticking out. I got like a can of hairspray in that up there, make it lay down. It ain't wanting to lay down. See, it's got that alfalfa deal going on.
Mm-hmm. And get that high strength adhesive, the spray adhesive.
I need some Gorilla Glue to make my hair lie down.
Washington County News Station, Utah's here. Hello.
Good to see you. Ma says he's leaving. Well, it was good to see you, Maz. And I'll get this out to you probably next week. We're supposed to start thawing out. So when we start thawing out, I'll get up to the post office. Oh, shoot. Yeah. And Anna says, I'd like to take my own gown. Well, see, they wanted these ones that tie so that, they could get easy access to whatever they needed to get on you if they needed to get to anything. So you couldn't really take your own clothes and stuff to put on. And they dress you while you're still knocked out from the anesthesia. And, talk about a mess. But no, I wasn't going to stay in there any longer, and I absolutely had to. It's like doctor come in the next morning, and He's like, well, how you doing? And I said, I'm interested in when I'm going home. And he says, going home? He says, you can't go home yet. And I said, the hell I can't. And he says, well, you ain't been eating solid food yet. And I said, I can do that at home. And he says, well, we got to get your innards working and everything before you go home. I said, no, we don't. I know how to do that. I can do that from home. I said, so when do I get to go? And he says, okay, I'll make you a deal. He says, if you can make it to 5 o'clock this afternoon, think you still want to go home, I'll let you go home. And so then what he did is he went out and he ordered me a full course meal for lunch instead of keeping me on liquid diet, which is what I needed to be on for 2 or 3 days until everything started working again. And so they brought that in, set it down in front of me. There was a couple things on there that I could deal with, some juice and stuff. And so I did that and pushed the tray away. And every half hour, I would get up and walk down the hall and walk back and get in the bed. And the nurse comes in. She says, well, aren't you going to eat your lunch? I said, no, I'm not going to eat that. I ain't supposed to have that. And she said, well, that's what the doctor ordered. And I said, well, let the doctor eat it. And I waited until 5 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, I got up, got my clothes out of the closet and put them on and called out to the nurse's desk. And I said, where is he? And she says, well, I don't rightly know. And I said, well, then you better be finding out, because he said if I wanted to go home at 5 o'clock, he'd sign me out of here. So you better be finding him, because I'm going home.
Whew, you are a piece of work.
And I went home and got myself well. I wasn't never going to get well in there. That was the craziest place you ever seen in your life. I was in one of them double rooms, and there was a girl in the bed next to me who'd had surgery the day before me, and she had made up her mind she was never going home. She's going to live in that hospital from now on, because this was a big vacation for her. She had 2 little girls at home, and she was not interested in going home and taking care of her family while she could lay with her butt in the hospital bed. And she wouldn't even go to the bathroom. This is how serious this was. She had made up her mind. She'd hold it forever. She was not going to go.
What does that prove? I don't.
Because if you don't get your insides working, they don't want you to go home.
Oh, okay.
And so she made up her mind. She wasn't going to go. Well, just before I left, my ride was on its way, and Nurse Ratchet come in there. And we're talking about a big woman. I mean, she would put the linebackers to shame on the NFL. This big woman comes in there, and she, around that curtain to that other bed she goes, and she says, I understand that you don't have your bowels working yet. And that gal said, no. And she says, well, we're going to fix that right now. And you hear the rubber gloves snap.
They're going to catheter her.
No, they was going to put a Dukalex.
Oh.
Where the sun don't shine.
Oh, dear.
And this girl starts screaming, and she tells her, shut up. And she says, now, you're going to lay there with your knees up, and you ain't going to move until I tell you to. And I'm sitting there trying not to laugh. I'm trying to be a good girl. And that big woman comes around that curtain and looks at me sitting there all dressed on the edge of the bed, and she says, do you have your bowels moving yet? And I said, no, but they're about to any time now. I said, no, I'm going home. And she says, all right, if you think you can deal with it. I said, I know I can. I'm going home.
Jeez. Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, I was getting out of there in the nick of time. So Ratchet was on duty.
I was in the hospital. I wanted out.
Yeah.
Because I was just worried that the longer I stayed, the higher the bill would be.
Well, back then I had insurance. I mean, that's been a very long time ago.
Too, but I was still, speaking of that, I am now have 0 medical debt. I just paid off my surgery.
Congratulations.
Which I'm both thrilled that I've paid it off, and I'm angered that I have medical debt in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, I had it.
Listen, the older you get, eventually your check engine light's going to come on. That's just part of life. And, it's something that you got to deal with. I have been extremely fortunate that I haven't had anything any more serious wrong with me than, the minor details that I've had. But, hey, I ain't getting no younger, and it's time to get the Medicare and get everything lined up, because I don't want to have to pay any more than I absolutely have to, and just, handle it. That's why I'm going over these policies with fine tooth comb, trying to understand. I don't want any surprises. And here's the driving force, so that you understand this a little bit better. I got a friend that works on my computers. You've heard me talk about him. He has had all kinds of spine problems, to the point where his entire spine now is metal. There's metal pins in his hips and his legs, and I couldn't even tell you. I mean, he's a magnet's dream come true. He's pretty much metal. He's a bionic man.
Wow.
He walks with one of them walkers that's got the wheels on the bottom of it, got the hand brakes and all that. And he had to go in the hospital a few years ago, and he had 3 surgeries inside of 2 months. And I'm talking about serious surgeries where they're replacing rods and all kinds of stuff in him. And when it was all said and done, and with all the nursing home stuff that he had to go through with recovery and all that, he still, even with his Medicare and supplements and all that, ended up owing over $30,000. He had to mortgage his house, and he's on nothing but Social Security like me. It was the awfulest mess you ever seen, and he's still trying to pay that off. So, yeah, I'm trying to learn from the problems that other people have had and not just slough this off, right, and, protect myself as much as humanly possible. Yeah. You can really get screwed, glued, and tattooed on these medical expenses. It's something you got to take serious when you get to be 65, because they force you into Medicare. You have not got a choice. You have to take the Medicare.
Yeah. They got it down to a system too, because when I checked in, I just told them my information. I never showed them anything. I never gave them any paperwork, not even my license, not even my insurance card. And then I was checking out. I'm like, I never gave anyone it. And then they're like, "Oh, honey, we got it. Don't you worry." That was their attitude. And sure enough, it was all in the system. Now, I gave them my details, but they just punched it up, and they had it all. Like, they didn't need. Yeah. It was crazy.
So, yeah, they'll see you coming with some of this medical stuff. You got to really know what you're doing. And I'm sure that I'm going to get hit with surprises when, doctors or dentists or, whoever says, well, we need to do this, that, and the other thing. And then I find out, well, you're not covered for that, or you're not covered till so-and-so. I mean, even that dental policy, there's some things that you can't get done for a year after this goes into effect. So...
Well, you're doing the right thing. You're getting it taken care of when you're supposed to get it taken care of, or get it.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It is no easy task. It is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. Let's say, Luana says, you have a choice as to win with Medicare. Not according to what I've been told here. Now, I guess it varies from state to state and from county to county and zip code to zip code. But here, when you turn 65, the month you turn 65 is when your Medicare goes into effect. And you have to sign up for it 3 months before. So I can't even sign up for it until May, but I have to sign up for the supplements 3 months before I sign up for the Medicare, except for the Part D, which is the pharmacy part. And you can't sign up for that until after you get the Medicare. I mean, why can't they put this all on a schedule that makes sense? You should get the Medicare, and then you should get whatever supplements that you need to go with that. And it goes into effect at a certain time. But no, they got everything all spread out all over the world. You have to be a timekeeper to figure all that mess out. The awfulest, goofy mess. I was told, a friend of mine was telling me the other day that she has a relative that's coming up on 65, and this relative didn't even graduate high school, can barely read, and she has to figure out all this Medicare stuff. I don't know how people like that cope. because you got to be able to read all this, understand all this, because them people tell you anything. It's unbelievable. She said supplement parts. Well, the supplement parts, your open enrollment is 6 months before you turn 65. And the sooner you sign up, the better deal you're going to get. Is what they've been telling me. And that's kind of standard no matter who you're talking to. So I have a tendency to believe that part of it. But, yep. Well, listen, I think we've been on here probably about long enough, ain't we? It's been an hour and 20 minutes. So I believe we'll just tell everybody, go get in front of a nice warm stove. Maybe maybe you got a campfire, so you're not burning no electric. If you got electric, some people don't even have electric at this point.
All fires outside of the house, not inside the house.
That's right. Don't light a campfire in your living room.
Propane in the house.
There's
No
been
cars
people
running in the garage.
Yeah, there's been people go out in the garage and get their car running and leave the door closed, and they've been asphyxiating. Don't do that. Don't do nothing stupid. This is not a time to do stupid things. You got to be smart about all this.
No joke. People think, oh, I'm just going to go outside and breathe in fresh air. It takes 4 times as long for it to get out of your system breathing fresh air. Like, you can't get out of it.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention to you before we go, you know how I told you that the Creator Studio wasn't working on my laptop? It was working in here on this computer. Well, then last week when I go out of here and go into the other room, it's working on the laptop. And then tonight I decided, well, you know, I'm going to check on the laptop and see what's going on with Creator Studio before I come back here and make, you know, see where things stood with numbers. It's not working again.
On the
but
same
I come back
device?
here, it's not working on the laptop again, like it wasn't working before.
Okay.
It worked, and then now it's not, but it's working in here. Tell Susan to stop messing with my junk over here.
I'll give her the nudge in the bed tonight.
You knew you wasn't going to get through this whole show without me dishing on you about Susan.
Oh, Susan.
Well, I hope everybody has a good week. I hope it warms up wherever you are and that everything runs smoother than it's been running. And we will see you next week, God willing. Matt will have a show Monday night over on his channel, All Things YouTube, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will put up a heifer later tonight. And I think Russell over at Simply Wooden Creations plans to have a show on Saturday night. I don't know who his guest is, but
I'm streaming on Amazon Live too. Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Well,
check me out on Amazon Live.
La-ti-da.
6 p.m. Eastern.
Don't we just think we're special?
Isn't that special? I have the links posted in the All Things YouTube Facebook group. If you want to.
Okie doke. All right. Well, we'll see everybody down the line. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Night, everybody.